welcome to the Wayfaring Panda. I'm Annette. Today I'm making a card using the clean and simple design, and I'm using a sketch from the Facebook page Mojo Monday, and this sketch was designed by Julie Tallman, and it's also on her blog, which is poeticartistryblogspot.com. And I think she used to post these for sketch challenges, but I don't think it's active anymore. You can see that the sketch has some splatters, so I splattered on vintage Patina distress ink, and now I'm using my hard stencil that I made a while back, and I'm stenciling on some Lawn Fawn stencil paste. It's their fairy dust one, and I'm adding distress ink to that, and I'm using Kitsch Flamingo. So I'm also doing this as a card challenge from Hello Bluebird, and they have a color challenge going on right now. And the colors you have to use are turquoise, pink, yellow, and lime green. This video is part of a YouTube hop with the Card Hoppin group. And this month, the theme was sketches, so you can get any sketch you wanted. And the theme was to choose either clean and simple or grunge. And I haven't really done either. I find it difficult to do clean and simple because I always want to do more, because I think you're supposed to leave about 2/3 of it white and have about 1/3 of it decorated. So I definitely needed a sketch to keep me focused. All these stencil paste always dry up really fast, so I keep a press and seal on it and cover it up right away. Also, when you're finished stenciling, you want to make sure you wash off your stencil and your tools right away, because it'll dry and get really hard on your stencil and your tools, and then it's hard to get it off. Now, I do like using these white ones, because then you can just add color to it, because if you have several different colors, it's hard to use them up before they go dry. If you have just a white one, you can add whatever color you need to it, and that way you'll get more use out of it before it dries up. I cut out a banner from some white cardstock with this vertical banner die from Hello Bluebird, as well as some leaves and flowers. And I'm going to use that as my circle element in the sketch. I'm using my stamp platform to stamp the sentiment on the banner, and I'm using Hello Bluebird's Big Hugs Woodland stamp set for my sentiment, and I picked out the words, "Sending hugs from me to you." I also picked out an image, which I already stamped and cut out using my scan and cut, and I'll use that for my other image on the card. I decided to use the Stampin' Up! Going Gray, which I've never used for a sentiment before, because I wanted to have a softer look. I wasn't sure how dark it would be, but I ended up stamping it twice, and I really liked how it looked. I stamped this image with the fox and raccoon hugging from the stamp set I had out earlier, the Woodland Hugs stamp set. And I used Copic friendly paper, which is Heavenly White, and also used Lawn Fawn's Crunchy Leaf stamp pad, because that's also Copic friendly. I did try to put the lids where you can see them so you know what I was using, but apparently I put them a little off screen, so I will put the colors on the screen so you can see which ones I'm using. Now, I always start with the darkest and go to lightest. So first of all, I try to put down the darker color where I think there'll be shadows, and then I work to the lightest and kind of blend out. Now, I'm still learning, and I really don't know a lot about shading, so if you're like me, just color it and have fun, and don't worry about it too much. You'll get better over time. After I finish coloring the fox, I go over his nose and eyes again with a black marker. I color the raccoon's mask and every other stripe on his tail with W9, and then I start shading him in gray, starting with the darkest and going to the lightest. And I try to make it lighter towards his belly. I take a Jelly Roll pen and add some white spots to highlight the eyes, And also with the raccoon, you can't really see his eyes since he has a black mask. If you have a Sakura pen, you could do a black dot for his eye, but I don't have one of those. Now I'm going to color the flowers and leaves with the colors that I need for the challenge and also to give a little bit more color to my card. So I'm just coloring the inside of the flowers with some yellow on the larger ones and just shading 2 colors. So I'm just doing a light and a dark on each one. So for the yellow one, I'm using Y11 and Y15. On the leaves, I'm just doing 2 colors also. So I'm starting with my dark color, which is YG06, and then I add YG03. For the pink flowers, I'm using RV23 and RV21. For this larger flower, I'm coloring the center with Y15, and then I'm shading it in blue colors using BG13 and BG32. And the BG32 is actually a lighter color, even though it's looks like a larger number. I was originally thinking of doing this rod kind of brown so it looked like it was made of wood, but then I decided just to make it kind of gold, like a gold bar, because then I won't be introducing any new colors. So I'm just doing the ends and the bottom with the darker color, which is YR24, and then I add my yellow, which is the Y15, and those are the same colors I've already used. Then I use my blending tool to add some Salvaged Patina Distress ink around the edges of my banner, and I think that gives it a finished look and kind of ties all the elements of the card together. The die leaves an impression on these tabs on the banner, so it kind of looks like that's where it was sewn so that the pole would go through the banner. So I'm just going to glue the pole to the back of my banner with some Nuvo Deluxe glue. I'm going to prop up my elements on my card with some fun foam, and I'd used this in a previous project, so it actually has a strip of Elizabeth Craft Designs double-sided tape on both sides. So I'm just going to cut that off using my nonstick scissors from Tim Holtz, cutting that off, and then I'll use that to prop up my elements. So I'm just going to cut some strips to go on the back of my banner. And then I just cut some strips to put on the back of my raccoon and fox. I'll put a list of all the products that I'm using in the description below. Some of these will be affiliate links. They don't cost you anything extra to use, but I do get a small commission from any sales that those links generate, and that helps support my website and my YouTube channel. And I do appreciate when you use those. Now, some of them will not be affiliate links, like the Hello Bluebird. I'll just put where you can find those because I don't have any type of affiliation with those. But I do like their products. Now I'm ready to assemble the card. So I'm just going to put some Nuvo Deluxe glue on the back of my card panel. And I'll attach that to the front of an A2 card base. Now I'm ready to assemble the card. So I'm going ahead and putting the banner on in place of the circle. And then I use my raccoon image in place of the star. In fact, the image of the star says any shape. So you could put whatever you want there. At this point, I realized I didn't need the foam tape on back of the fox's tail because it's resting on the banner. So I was able to get that off, and then I just added some glue to his tail. Then I just used my Nuvo Deluxe glue to attach my leaves and flowers to the top of the banner. And while doing this, I noticed that some of the little openings, the little circles inside the flowers had fell out. So I decided it didn't need those in there because then it showed the blue underneath. So that didn't look right for a flower. So then I used my tweezers to add the dots back in, which I colored off screen. And the tweezers really help with this. As I mentioned earlier, this is a YouTube hop with the card Hoppin group. I'll have a list of all the participants in the description below. Please check there for the next person on the hop and hop along to all the different participants, and you'll get ideas on how to use card sketches and also ideas on doing clean and simple designs as well as grunge. And also you'll probably get some ideas of places to get card sketches. So if you ever get in a rut, that's a good thing to do, is to use a card sketch. While you're hopping along, please show everyone some support by liking their videos, leaving comments, and if you're not a subscriber, we'd all appreciate if you can subscribe to our channels. Now I decided the card needed a little bit more bling, so I have these white shimmer Pawsitively Pawsome designs. They're kind of like a cream colored whitish flat jewel. So I put those on. Now these are from a local store, so that's why it has a different name to them. But I know different companies have these, so you can find those online if you don't have this type of colored jewel. So I'm just attaching them with my Glossy Accents. And I'm putting just 3 of them on because I know in design you're supposed to put odd amounts. And also this is supposed to be a clean and simple design, so I didn't want to overdo it. If you think I needed more, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And also I appreciate if you leave any comments below. I like hearing from everyone. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd really appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel. If you are a subscriber, I want to thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.